Alice in Wonderland is finally here. What an exciting, crazy, maddening course. I love it so much. So this is easy, and hole one just starts right out the gate showing you how dramatically the sizes are going to change, and therefore how specific your pacing and aim has to be. But I mean, laying it up to get that birdie, pretty straightforward. So yeah, I just kind of go just to the left of the hole and it banks it back nicely right towards the hole. On two, headed down the stairs. I like to just chuck it on down there since it does tend to stay in. And that way it kind of gets it around the corner a little bit towards the hole. Yeah, so whether it gets shrunk or not, it gets you in the right area. So three, you can try to go right through. You have to time it or you catch the guy on the back side of the opening. He's pretty easy to catch, but there's this cluster of smudges right there. Like that's the spot. It went right over that and then straight through the slot. Now, you can go around the side, just as long as you don't go back out. And on the sand, it doesn't like to roll down all the way to the hole, but that time it did. All right, the Dodo's nest on four. You can go left or right, and it does stay in the nest pretty good. So the ace is just hoping to catch the sidewall or something just right to keep it more in the center. But also, I wouldn't try it in game really. But I was like, hey, how easily does this pop over? Pretty easily. All right, we're at the rabbit's house. Now you've got your potion here that will make the ball larger, but I was hitting off that post on the wall, and that sometimes gets it around the corner pretty good. That one's off just where the top of the hill, the slant is. That also sometimes gets it around. The ace, that took just a little bit because it doesn't really love to get around that corner. Not sure in game I'm gonna try to get it all the way around like that. Might be a little too risky. Six. Now this one was a ace in the game, first try. Not too bad. Just wanted to gently go over that leaf. So I'm like, all right, well, let's try some more fun things. Let's go off to the side and see. Also didn't take terribly long. And then just to be completely crazy, also didn't take a super long time. Just, this is going to be the one hole you can kind of count on in the game. Seven. Now this one you've got where it makes it tiny or it makes it larger, and so that's showing both. But this one ace the very first time I putted it. I was so surprised. And then of course I'm like, okay, is that commonly gonna go in? It's not too bad. It gets down there really well. So it can be done from the small potion side, but it's definitely trickier to get it down there. It almost didn't want to go in. I'm like, wait, there it is. You can skip all those potions maybe. Just bounce it clean over everything. All right, eight, just some approaches. You've got that broken plate there that often will line it up. All of this can go wrong, but you know, as far as like what more consistently kind of gets it around. So there's the plate, but also if you skip the plate right there and kind of catch the wall, Well, that also frequently knocked it down into the area. And that is how it aced. Of course, it's jumping plates and banking off things. So definitely some risk involved in trying to get it all the way down there. There's a dark shadow kind of sticking off that. And if you hit it just so, it'll do that weird bank around and send it right down. Meh, rude. So this was actually the first ace I got. Just knocked it right down the center. Catches that little lucky bounce off the plate there. But it frequently went down there. If you hit that bush just so, it'll knock it on down. So I'm not sure which one I like best in game. 9 also surprised me because it was like the second try. And it just dropped right in. I was like, what the heck? Do love the little bounce in. Just getting through those teeth. That's fairly unpredictable. Now 10, here's just some approaches for safely getting it through there. Kind of want to hit it kind of soft, but then you can also bank off that, which I found carries it up and over really nicely. And that one did tend to roll it back towards the hole a little more often. And then the ace ended up being off the root behind me. So several ways to practice and kind of find, how do I want to get up safely into the back area? The Jabberwocky. I love how they did all the illustrations from Tenniel. Pretty sure I'm pronouncing his name right. Gotta get up there, let it enlarge, and hopefully get it up there in a way that will roll over the bridge. But also you could just pop it over. Not gonna do it in game, but I don't know if one learned that really well. You gotta catch the bridge just right though. Pretty risky. Alright, 12. So different approaches. Aiming for the candlestick base over there. I was like, what would get this most consistently around all the stuff? My goodness, there's a lot to bounce off of in here. And none of it super consistent. So, yeah. Just taking it off the candlestick. But also there's like this cutting board. I was like, okay, just pass the knife on the cutting board side. That also, with some frequency, got it back there. Playing it in game, I've managed to get it like birdie or par every time, so it's not quite as awful as it seems. Oh, that was just like, how could you? And then the Mad Hatter would laugh, and I'm like, relatable, exactly. He gets it. The ace went off the sandwiches to the left and did a little pop-up thing. I was like, oh, nice. I thought this one might be the one that took the longest. That was 17, but this was one of them that took a while. $13. Oh my goodness, why? This is that tiny little ball. It just catches things and rolls right over it or whatever. It definitely makes it a little tougher to get them to go in. So just had to get it up the hill, get it to roll back, skip that whole enlarging potion altogether. Alright, the quadrille. It's like, well, we could just take this over the rock here. And it will do that pretty good, but not as safely as going around, using the corner, and just getting it to carry all the way around. I love that ace. How many ways it banked and then used the little spinning thing there just to curve it right in. Thank you very much, Mr. Lobster. On 15. Like shaving that edge really close gets it back in that section, and it would go really close to the hole. But the ace I thought was a little easier, safer, taking it to the left. And so kind of thinking where that triangle piece is sticking out, kind of lined up to that. And that would often bank it back in and not be nearly as risky. I just love the little hedgehogs off to the side of this. So kind of a safe setup. Just put it straight through there. But the ace I did behind me just so I could change the angle of it. Just bank it behind me. And so right there, you can, get a sense of where that's at. There's that little cluster of weird smudging there. That helped give me a more specific line. And that would carry it right on down. Now another way to do it is bank the other way. So this was just a bit of a safer approach, actually, banking it this way, because that opening is wider and it would at least get it right next to the hole. Ah, 17. Definitely took the longest. Man, that ball was so small. The pacing had to be just right. Like I'd come to the hole and it would just jump it. So I thought, I like how if I can get it to kind of catch in there to keep it down near the hole. So yeah, just showing like banking it to the right up there, banking it to the left. I'm trying to figure out what's the easiest route. Just going straight ahead to bring it on back, which sometimes will catch the side wall there. I'm like, come on. This is the hole that drove me mad. Earned me my Mad Hatter hat that I am so excited we have. I love it so much. And it's like, oh, that pacing's still just a whisker too fast. So the ace ended up doing it straight. And finally getting it just lined up and the pacing right. So there is kind of a mark on the floor there for those who really like a mark, but I can't say how reliable that is just because even the smallest shift makes a big change because of how far it has to go and how small the ball is. So 18 in game, the idea is to get it to grow twice using both potions, and that way the ball is big enough to roll over that heart barrier that's on the ground and right into the hole. And so there's a shot just how to get it in both potions in one shot, but it is risky, so I don't know how worth it is. So I'm like, hey, what if we just knock the tiny one over and find a path to just get it in the area? So the ace, I went just to the right of the potion and it bounced it back into the area and then just happened to catch the right line to roll it right back into the hole. Yeah, oh, there is some fun stuff in here because of these potion bottles. I love, like, I was like, hey, try to ring the potion bottle. And that way the ball goes in small, but because it grows with the potion, it can't get back out. So that one's pretty easy to do because of the hill right there. It went in a couple of times. This one happened twice, but the ball actually stays tiny, so it just comes back out. So you're going to be able to still play it. And this was the one on the other side, and it just bounced in, came out. This is my favorite. It just popped up there and then just sat there on the wooden beam. I was like, what? Kind of thing I could not do on purpose if my life depended on it. All right, hope you guys enjoy Alice as much as I do. Subscribe if you like, and I hope this has been helpful.